Okay, we're live. So it's good to see everyone tonight at our annual Tradiciones party. I'm Chris Baker, publisher of the Taos News. The Taos News started this tradition 22 years ago. Over those 22 years, we've recognized 198 unsung heroes and 28 Citizens of the Year. I'd like to introduce our committee who nominated our unsung heroes and our Citizen of the Year. First of all, Ernie Ortega. Ernie. Yeah, please stand up if you could. Taos Magistrate Judge and past unsung hero, Marilyn Farrow from St. James Episcopal Church. Past unsung hero, Kathleen Michaels from Taos Pueblo. Thank you, Kathleen. Stella Mars McGinnis. Stella's been on our focus group for 22 years from day one. She's been there. She's always showed up, always had nominations, and thank you, Stella. Appreciate it. Ernestine Cordova. Where's Ernestine? There's Ernestine. Past Taos News unsung hero. Joe Q. Joseph Quintana. Hey, Joseph. One of our newest members is David Elliott. Thanks, David. And last year's Citizen of the Year. So, let's give it up for David one more time. Wasn't David great during the COVID? Thank you, David, for everything you did. Sonia Struck. Sonia's new to our committee, Laurel Foundation. And Larry Mapes. Where's Larry? There's Larry. Larry. Taos County Chamber President. And my good friend Elizabeth Critton Palacios, who's our moderator. Elizabeth is a past Taos News Citizen of the Year. So tonight we honor 9 incredible people of Taos. Our focus group has assembled a diverse group of heroes that come from all corners of Taos County. These heroes include a counselor and a coach, a business leader, an amazing emergency room leader during COVID, one of Arroyo Seco's longest tenured volunteers, a state forester and a Sakia volunteer, a superintendent of 8 years, a community organizer all her life, and a mother of strong Taos Pueblo women. So tonight is really about character. Someone once described character as doing the right thing when no one's looking. Tonight's honorees are exemplified by their character. They show up to help, they stay without reward, and they ask for nothing in return. Their footprint is almost invisible, yet their impression is long-lasting for years and decades to come. Tonight we want to thank Lisa O'Brien and the Taos Community Foundation for being the title sponsor for tonight's event. I think it's important to mention a few facts of what the Taos Community Foundation is doing for Taos and northern New Mexico. Last fiscal year, their granting was over $2.5 million, including over $100,000 in student scholarships. They currently hold 200 charitable funds, 43 of which are for nonprofit organizations in our community. They have built out grant-making partnerships in Angel Fire, Cuesta, and will work in partnerships with Taos County on administrating over $500,000 in ARPA funds under the American Rescue Fund. They aided with emergency refunds after the December windstorm, and they were there for us for this summer wildfires, and they continue to respond with COVID recovery efforts. I'd like to now turn the mic over to Lisa O'Brien, the Executive Director for Taos Community Foundation. She has a great crew here. Thank you. The guys, wonderful. She has some special awards on behalf of the foundation. Thank you, Lisa.
So are we using portable or this mic right here? Does this work? I'm going to use this. Because if not, I might break out into song, and then Chris Baker will have to come up for something else. Good evening. I have the privilege of being the spokesperson on behalf of Taos Community Foundation, and we are absolutely honored to be a signature sponsor for this event. I think this is the 3rd year in a row we've done this. And I want to just kind of lay a little bit of landscape for us, for our viewers at home. We are at El Monte Sagrado. We just had a beautiful dinner. So we're in the dining room with our honorees and a guest of their choice. And we are here to celebrate the absolute incredible spirit, grit, tenacity, and love for this community. Couple things I want to say. No one in this room knows the lineup. So we had a little bit of a dress rehearsal that was about 4 minutes long, and it basically said, shake your hands, get the energy out. I want to say to all of you who are tuning in from home, and we know that that's not just in our Taos community, but from all over the country, please know that we did not have a dress rehearsal, as I said. So what you see is live. So what you will see, probably from me as well, is a quivering voice. You will see shaky hands. You will see a lot of emotion. And what I'm going to say is please just take that in and celebrate it for all of the incredible work that is in this room. We may have a wardrobe malfunction, and I will say we already had one, but my lips are sealed and I'm not saying a word. I've also heard that there may be kind of a sideline who has the best shoes on competition. So I think it again reflects we are finally back. Oh, see, there's already people here sort of taking bets. Part of what this evening is sort of being back in community. So a lot of what I heard tonight was, oh my God, I haven't had dress shoes on in 3 years, and oh my God, I think I forgot how to be social at a table. So I'm not going to give anyone up for that, but I'm going to tell you it's part of what we hear. To the honorees who are in this room tonight, couple things. Take this night in. Take it in deeply. Breathe it in. What you are being honored with tonight is the love and the spirit that you have brought to this community, and the gratitude in our community is well beyond this room. Breathe it in, take it in. The other piece that I will ask for those of us who are watching from home, please honor these individuals with your words, with your blessings, and with your love. So at the grocery store, at the post office, at our school campuses, at our medical facilities, thank them. The work that they are sharing with us tonight and what we're honoring them for. Okay, I just have to say this is totally weird because I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm going, oh my goodness, this kind of freaked me out for a minute. Sorry. Take it in. You will learn things tonight about people that you thought you knew, and you're going to learn things tonight about people that you don't know at all. And when you see them in community, thank them. This is all about gratitude, because the love and the gifts that people give are the things that we take into our heart. So this is our community, and tonight is about celebration. I want to start with, Taos Community Foundation started a couple years ago with what we called the Peak of Excellence Awards. And we had gotten to a place as a community foundation where it was time to say we're ready to recognize the excellence in community. So I'm here tonight on behalf of Taos Community Foundation to start out the event with both the Philanthropist of the Year and the Nonprofit of the Year. I have found over the years that philanthropy is a word that people are often intimidated by. We use words giving and charity, and those come out pretty easily, and we know what that means. Philanthropy is one step deeper. It's really about how do we get to the root causes of issues and not just the relief of the pain of it. I'm here to assist all of us in getting comfortable with the word philanthropy, so we may wholeheartedly congratulate Taos Community Foundation's Philanthropist of the Year, Lori Mitchell-Dunn. Lori brings a wealth of talent in finance, management, and nonprofit organizations. As a professional, Lori served as the vice president for Atmos Energy Corporation, a Fortune 500 company. Her community involvement has included numerous nonprofit board positions, including several executive roles during her 9 years of board service with Taos Community Foundation. I remember saying at Lori's exit party that her work with the foundation was impeccable. Impeccable. Lori was active in Taos School Zone, a special project at Taos Community Foundation as a funder and as an advisory committee member. She's been a Women Give Advisory since the inception in 2015 and has served as chair of the group for the last 3 years. Outside of her relationship with Taos Community Foundation, Lori has served in leadership with Millicent Rogers Museum, as well as the Great Chefs of Taos, which is an organization established to fundraise for Taos High School's culinary arts program. Lori has asked for her $5,000 grant to be awarded to Taos Municipal Schools to support the district's wellness initiatives and with special attention to students experiencing homelessness. Please welcome Lori Mitchell-Dunn.
Well, I was determined I wasn't going to cry, but I started crying when Lisa introduced me. Thank you so much, Lisa and Taos Community Foundation, for this honor. I have to say that I'm both honored and humbled. And I'm frankly humbled, thank you, I'm so humbled I was dropping my reading glasses. But frankly, I'm humbled just to be in this room with all of you. Because the people that we're really here to celebrate tonight, all of the unsung heroes and our Citizen of the Year, you guys are some of the brightest lights in the Taos community. And people like you are a huge part of the reason that I feel incredibly privileged to live here. I've only been in Taos for 12 years. That still makes me very much a newbie. But I have to say this community is it's filled with people with so many talents and so much dedication and so much heart and soul that I'm very, very privileged to be in this room with all of you. As far as me and my philanthropic journey, Lisa's right, philanthropy is kind of a big, scary word. I always thought it applied to, billionaires and multi-million-dollar foundations. But I have come to learn over the years, and I've been doing what I call active philanthropy, meaning more than just writing checks to good causes, for almost 20 years now. And what I figured out is that it's really fun and rewarding to support organizations that you care about, especially when you get to a point where you can do that in a somewhat meaningful way. But it's even more rewarding when you can get in and actively work with nonprofits that are doing good in the community and really work together with them, help them figure out how to do what they do even better and more effectively and more powerfully, and hopefully in collaboration with other nonprofits that are also working to make the community better. And that's what's really fun to me about philanthropy. It's not just giving, but it's doing. And I love being able to do that. I'm very privileged to be able to do that. As Lisa said, I asked that the $5,000 grant that comes with this award be directed towards work that's being done in Taos Municipal Schools, and not in the classroom directly, but in support of students. One of the things I've also learned over the years, especially since coming here, is that the experience that I had growing up, where I was taught by my parents to value education, and that education was the key to unlocking whatever potential I might have had. But what I've realized now, and I didn't realize it when I was a kid, is that I was very lucky. I had 2 loving parents, a stable home environment. I had teachers who believed in me. I had safe, good public schools to learn in. I had a great high school counselor who was able to help me get a scholarship to attend a good college. I had all of those advantages. And frankly, back then, I took it pretty much for granted. I have learned better since then. So my dream now is that every kid would have the same advantages and the same opportunities that I had, to go as far as they want, to learn as much as they can, and to have every opportunity through a good education to make the best possible life for themselves. So the good news is, certainly here in Taos and beyond, there are a lot of people here who share that dream and are working every day, both inside and outside the classroom, to make it a reality. From our school superintendents, Lillian, where are you? Most recently retired, and our wonderful teachers and people working outside the classroom and in after-school programs and in youth support programs, hello Sandy, and others that are really banding together to make sure that our kids in the Taos area are taken care of and supported and given every possible chance. So that's really my mission, my philanthropic mission. Certainly it's been my primary focus, and I'm just happy to be able to do whatever I can to support that. So again, thank you, Lisa and Taos Community Foundation, for this honor. Thank you to the Taos News for honoring all of the great people here. And thanks to all of you honorees and everyone else in the room for the wonderful work you do for the Taos community.
I just realized I forgot to give Lori her certificate. You think you have everything on your list and then you forget. I'm passing this off. Thank you, Lori. I also want to tell people that we do not have folks in the front of the room here with applause cards. So what you hear is natural and authentic. The second award that I'll present tonight on behalf of the foundation is the Nonprofit of the Year Award. This honors an organization that embodies a clear, inspiring vision for the future, connects that vision to meeting the needs of our community, and demonstrates strong collaborative partnerships. True Kids One has a new mission of inspiring K through 12 students to create, communicate, and collaborate in a digital age. Coming out of COVID-19, the schools were overwhelmed and students on their screens were on screen more than ever. This mission has a particularly important resonance for this time and this moment. This innovative nonprofit offers in-school media programs reaching over 1,000 students in Taos, Colfax, and Union counties. They also offer a wealth of after-school programs and summer camps targeting both a middle school and a more advanced high school aged group. And as importantly, True Kids One has excellent out-of-school programs, as Lori mentioned. With True Kids One Productions offering real-world video experience to students, and with their democracy program connecting civics and media to amplify student voices. Above all else, True Kids One has adapted and evolved massively during this COVID pandemic. True Kids One was able to fully listen to local stakeholders to understand how much the pandemic had reoriented priorities and then to adjust their programs accordingly. I forgot to mention earlier, Taos Community Foundation is giving $5,000 grants to our two recipients this evening. So accepting this year's Nonprofit of the Year and a $5,000 foundation grant for operational support is Executive Director Sandy Campbell and Board President Larry Mapes. On behalf of Taos Community Foundation, please join me in celebration. And I have the folder and I have the check.
Thank you.
Congratulations. May I?
Thank you. Wow, thank you very much. Wow, thank you. What a tremendous honor. Thank you. I want to offer some quick pieces of gratitude. I've been executive director of TK1, as we call it, for 14 months now, and it's been a dizzying ride. So quick tips of the hat to, first of all, my amazing board president, Larry Mapes, right here. Thank you, Larry. Not with us tonight is Pete Monroe, who's our director of media. Some of you may have met Pete. He's a brilliant teacher, videographer, and just an all-around amazing individual to help rebuild this organization with. So thank you, Pete. And the third tip of my hat goes to my wife, Michelle Williams, who's just been an incredible support and partner in this great journey. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't offer an incredible gratitude to this incredible place, Taos, New Mexico. I don't think I ever knew I would love a place as much as I love this place and being a part of the incredible community in this place. While I'm on the subject of gratitude, I have to offer incredible gratitude to our teachers. I mean, we have some incredible folks in this community who show up every day, who can alter quickly to teaching something via Zoom, or who can deal with the incredible challenges that COVID continues to dish out to us. We could not do what we do without incredible teachers all across the northern part of this state. Another huge piece of gratitude goes to our students. Our children have changed during this pandemic. I think all of us parents in this room know it. Our children have changed. They had 2 years of their lives taken from them in social isolation, in concern, in an unknown era that they had to live through. And that then goes into the core parts of their being, of their character. And they used technology and media like many of us did. We're all screen junkies in this room. I know you know this. But our children relied on screens to get through an intense period of isolation. And that's changed who they are. That's at the foundation of who they have become and are becoming. And for us as a nonprofit, that's become an incredible opening for us. We have a generation who are growing up on screens, like it or not. We have to help them be responsible with what they do. We have to help them understand what they do. We have to help boost their media literacy. We have to help them understand how to think critically in this world, which is hard, which is a challenging task. This is not something that they're going to know by the time they graduate high school, but they need to know how all of these pieces connect. And that's, again, something that my organization can help with. Teachers are doing this piece. Parents are doing this piece, and we can do this piece by helping them understand the great power of technology and media and not just sit there on their phones swiping and pinching and doing what they do, but learning how to create content, learning how to become part of the conversation. And that's something that's really important and something that is taking us forward in our evolution as a nonprofit. We have become a movement. We are a movement of kids who are connected, kids who have something they want to say, people who have microphones in their hand and want to go to our amazing elected officials, for example, and ask probing questions of them. They want to understand this world from their perspective, not from our perspective. And so what we can do is give them those tools and give them those opportunities. Here's a microphone, here's a camera, here's how you use it. And even more importantly, this is the great power of these things. And here's how you can harness that power to understand this world, to understand who you are in this world, and to push for change in this world. So let me say one more thing, which is we're now in the midst of building what we call the TK1 Mediaverse. This is a clever play on Marvel characters' multiverse. The Mediaverse is a professional production studio. It's a photography lab. It's a learning center. It's all going to be right on Civic Plaza Drive. We expect and hope this to be a dynamic place for our teenagers to come to, for our middle school students to come to learn, to be part of something, to create. And you're all invited to come and join us. We expect this to be launching in May of 2023. It's going to be a dynamic entry into the after-school and out-of-school programs for our children. And you're all very welcome. So thank you so much for this award. We're very grateful for it, and thank you very much.
See, we come with the checks and then they leave them. Okay, we're now going to switch gears. We are now into the Unsung Heroes portion of tonight's event. And again, I'm reminding everyone, no one knows what the lineup is. Lindsay, Faff-Bain, grew up in northern New Mexico as the only child of a single mother. She remembers tagging along with her mother to art openings, dairy farms, UNICEF meetings, and recycling programs, which brought her to the front lines regarding community events. Lindsay graduated from Los Alamos High School in 1999, where she ran cross country and track and was the vice president of the student body. Are we surprised? The next 10 years brought many family losses, including the death of her mother and changes in her educational plans. During this same period, Lindsay had 2 children and relocated to Taos, which she now describes as the first place I felt at home and at peace. Lindsay will describe that her third baby is Taos Plaza Live, which she has championed in her tenure with the Chamber of Commerce. Her leadership journey began as the Chamber membership representative 10 years ago. Lindsay stepped into the directorship position in 2020. People say it takes a village to raise a child. Lindsay would add, it also takes a village to put on an event. The Taos Business Alliance started Taos Plaza Live in 2000 to bring locals and visitors downtown to the heart of the plaza for connecting, shopping, commerce, community, and local live music. Lindsay is proud to point out that Taos Plaza Live has only been canceled once in the last 10 years due to floods and lightning. A list too long to mention here, suffice it to say, from organizing mix and meets, job fairs, networking events, business expos, to overseeing the Lilac Festival, Lindsay's early longing for a community she could be part of and give back to has more than manifested here in Taos. Lindsay Faff-Bain.
I'm Lindsay Faff-Bain. I'm the Executive Director of the Taos County Chamber of Commerce. This is going on my 11th year working for the Chamber and my 14th year being here in Taos, New Mexico. Very honored and grateful that I get to raise 2 of my beautiful children here. I grew up in northern New Mexico, and I went to state for college and then moved away and came back to New Mexico to raise my kids here. My soul feels very at home here in Taos, especially in New Mexico. My job, I feel very lucky that I get to promote Taos in our region in northern New Mexico. Taos is really special. We have the arts, we have cultural experiences, but we also have food and music. I sometimes feel like it's a little Austin in a way, but better because of the New Mexico food and the art, and especially the people. I really feel grateful that I get to be around our community members, and the community here at large is a really amazing place, and people choose to live here and they show up for each other in amazing ways. And so I feel like it's kind of been ingrained in me as far as community support and community service, and serving other people and making sure that their best has always been something that I've always strived to do as in any role I've been in. And in my early life, I was really involved with like student council and student senate in college, and advocacy, and also a lot of volunteer work and community work. And my background is in communication and marketing, and you know, I've done corporate America, but I never felt fulfilled. And I always felt like a number producing numbers, but I feel like in Taos, I feel like we are people making those connections, and you know, our lives matter, and what we do matters, and what we do for our children matters. So the apples of my eyes are Maddie and Logan, and Maddie's in high school and Logan's in middle school. And then my fur babies we have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and so we have a very busy household. And yeah, And so when I'm not working and doing community events, I am carpooling and driving kids around. And yeah, I feel like I've always been in that role of serving and paying it forward, and always that's what I feel that I really enjoy doing, is making those connections and helping people.
I'm just going to take a moment. Like Lisa said, I'm really just going to take a moment. Thank you, Lisa, for that. I appreciate our friendship. I appreciate you. I always say that we do show up for each other, and it takes a village to raise kids. And so I appreciate our village, from the teachers to the first responders to our community members. And it's not just raising a kid, but it's to do anything, right? It takes a village to do anything. And I feel so grateful, right, to be a part of this village. And so like the video said, I'm Lindsay Faff-Bain. I'm the executive director of the Taos County Chamber of Commerce. And when I was writing the story to give to the Taos News that Lisa shared, I am from Los Alamos. That's where I grew up. And there's that joke of the Taos hum, right? So I always ask people, do you hear the Taos hum? And I always want to know what they say about that. And so I do feel like I have now the Taos hum. I sometimes feel like I hear it. I don't know if it's spirits. I don't know if it's God. Or a calling. But I also grew up in Los Alamos, so as you know, there was the atomic bomb, so I glow. So I glow and I hum. So before I go into my speech, I just want to take this moment to say thank you. Gratitude is beyond. Thank you to the Taos News for this amazing event. 22 years that you guys have been putting this on, even during COVID. And that's amazing, the resilience that our community has. We keep going, even though through COVID. Thank you to the Taos Community Foundation to see all these lovely faces, and congratulations to Lori, to Sandy. You guys are remarkable, and I feel so grateful to be here. Thank you so much to the Taos Nomination Committee for voting me and seeing potential. I especially want to say thank you to Anita Bringus for putting my hat in the ring. You're a remarkable woman, and to follow in your footsteps, I feel very humbled. And I appreciate our friendship. And of course, the rock star David Elliott, who's at our table too. He's amazing, the Citizen of the Year last year. Friendship is, I think, what's gotten us through COVID. And I appreciate all of our friendships. To be a part of this community has fulfilled my soul. It has also healed me. I found peace. And you can only be your most true self here. You can't live next to Joneses and pretend that you're something you're not. So one of the many things we do, like Lisa said, is that we show up. We show up for each other. And in the big city, driving home and just going straight home and the garage door closes, I never felt that sense of community. Yeah, I was really good at corporate, but there was nobody showing up for me because there was not a sense of the community. So I feel so honored to be amongst these amazing people that show up for us, these amazing 8 other unsung heroes. So thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for showing up every single day. And thank you to the Citizen of the Year. Whoever you are, you're amazing. Gratitude, no words. You deserve this. As Lisa said, take it in, take that moment. Of course, a shout out to everybody at home, family, friends, and watching.
I want to give a huge thank you to my best friend. See, I told people I wouldn't cry. David's like, yes, you are. To my partner, to my husband, Aiden Bain, for showing up in the rain or shine during Taos Plaza Live, but for me personally, for showing up for me, for my family, for helping moving mountains of snow to fix communication towers. Aiden grew up here. He shows up for our community. Thank you for showing up for our community. Yes, let's give Aiden a big round of applause. Yes, let's make him blush. I think of Aiden like a MacGyver. I think of him as Inspector Gadget. But more than anything, if you just see him flying, I also think of him like Waldo. Like, where is Waldo? Where's Aiden? Like, I never can find him during events or at home. It's just, but he is there when I need him. He always shows up. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for showing up for our community. Thank you to our family for your love and support, to my dad, to my bonus mom who drove all the way here to Taos to watch the live stream at our house with my kiddos at home. They're having a watch party. To my parents, I appreciate you going the distance. To my children, Maddie and Logan, you are my everything. I'm such a proud mother, the both of you, just how you are. And as Lisa mentioned, my mother passed away 22 years ago, and having kids now, I know how my mom felt about me. So growing up in northern New Mexico, my mom used to take me to Taos as a child. I felt like a little 40-year-old when I was 10. I remember when I was going to the Taos Pueblo on San Geronimo Day. Don't worry, I didn't get thrown in the river. I remember my mom volunteering at the Fetchin House at the Taos Art Museum and waiting in Fetchin's daughter's art gallery until she was done volunteering. I also remember going down the rafting with my dad, my bonus mom, and my blended family down the Rio Grande River down as a kid. It's such an honor to raise my children here in Taos. And working for the Chamber has brought me so much joy. So I want to say thank you to our board members, to the people who have served our Chamber, to Larry Mapes, our chairman who's here tonight, to the staff, to Susan Katie for passing the baton and her legacy, and for everything that she's done for the community. Thanks for Katie Ritter for her dedication and her hard work for the Chamber, and wishing her a happy birthday. And a huge thanks to our community members for showing up for each other, and also for our business community and nonprofits. I have another 2 or 3 pages, but I'm gonna go ahead and scrap that because I don't want Lisa to be by my side. Because someone asked me one time, what is a chamber? What does a chamber do? So just go to taoschamber.com and you can look it up. Our mission's there. But shortly, we're incorporated in 1962. We're a 501c6, and we're not subsidized. We are supported by you and what you want us to do. We advocate for you. I've been working for the Chamber, like Lisa said, for over 10 years, 150 plus Taos Plaza Lives, over 200 events. Some other work I've done with the county, Taos County 2020 census, thanks to Lisa for her navigation, EC COAD, Town of Taos kiosks, shopping local campaigns, and some things before the Chamber was CAV Radiothon for the Health Food Cancer Supports and HOP board. But more than anything, a shout out to everybody who's trying, right? Trying to do the right thing, trying to stay open, trying to keep going, trying to hold on, trying to let go, trying to find their flow, trying to stay afloat, trying to meet each day, trying to find their balance, trying to stay positive, trying new things in new ways. Someone asked me, what are you excited about? I'm excited that I'm not stuck at home anymore. I'm excited that my kids get to go back to school. I'm excited that we get to do things as a community again. I'm excited that Taos is open, the Pueblo is open. Thank you.
Gratitude is beyond. I'm also excited that business is open. We're open for business. So my ask tonight is support the businesses and nonprofits who supported our community over the years. So keep in mind to shop local first, especially during the business holidays, and the holiday season's coming up, but during all seasons, is to really try to support our neighbors, our friends, and community members. Thank you.
I just have to reflect on that for 1 second and say, if Lindsay doesn't epitomize, it's not about trying, it's just about doing. That's all I need to say. Thank you, Lindsay. One of the wardrobe malfunctions today was I sat on my reading glasses. I know that they're crooked on my face, so for all of you that are looking at home, if I look like I'm this, I know I look like this. I'm doing my best. Leo Pacheco. At 87 years of age, Leo Pacheco is no stranger to death. He has seen many people pass away in the 40-plus years he has served taking care of several cemeteries in the Arroyo Seco area. Early in his life, Leo opted for money and sustenance over an education. He found work in Pot Creek in a lumber yard before moving to Wyoming and then Colorado, where he worked in the mines. He would later land at the Cuesta mine, where he worked for over 25 years. Leo's attention to the cemetery began when he recalled, "My father taught me how to ring the bell." Leo was often the first one to learn of someone's death in the community, which was always acknowledged with the ringing of the bell. This honor easily transitioned into being asked to recite the rosary for a loved one, and even giving a eulogy, which Leo did for the first time when a young girl in the community passed away. Before retiring from his role, Leo would go to the cemetery and mark the headstones. He would handle the checks and the receipts for the cemetery dues. He would say prayers for the deceased and sometimes travel as far as Mora to deliver those prayers. He did this all for free for 40-plus years. In addition to these services, Leo designed the Stations of the Cross, a series of 14 carvings that commemorate the last days of Jesus on earth as man. These were placed in Amorado and Arroyo Seco. He had no formal training as a carpenter and yet rose to this special spiritual contribution. Leo was one of the main members of the Arroyo Seco Mutual Domestic Water Association, along with the late Abel Garcia. It was a position that was unpaid, and much like his cemetery dues, it was another situation where he was thrust into a role he wasn't necessarily looking for. Leo will share that he's lived a good life thus far, with only one great loss, that of his late wife, Rose Pacheco, with whom he lived with for 60 years. While Leo describes his service to the community in a very matter-of-fact manner, community member David Fernandez has more to say about Pacheco. There are but a few like him. He is extremely intelligent and aware. As an artist and a sculptor, a singer and a cantor of the songs, as a very eloquent speaker and a storyteller, as a man who does not chase after limelight, but will respond to a call for his help, counsel, and gifts. Please welcome unsung hero Leo Pacheco.
Yo soy José Leo Pacheco de esta comunidad de Arroyo Seco, nacido aquí y vivo aquí todavía. Tengo una edad de 87 años de edad y he visto mucho y he compartido mucho en esta comunidad de Arroyo Seco. Siempre mi pensar mío era servirle a la gente Y estas oportunidades de servirle a la gente yo no las busqué, solo vinieron a mí solas. Como por ejemplo ser el presidente de la Noria de Drinking Water, del agua, ¿no? Vinieron a ver si quería ser el presidente, no porque yo tenía en mente, no. Y serví, no sé, 10, 15 años o más. Y del Camposanto también fui nombrado por el concilio parroquial de la iglesia a ver si quería yo ser parte de la comisión para cuidar el Camposanto, que fueron 4 los que nombraron de esta comunidad, ¿no? Entonces yo toqué ser uno de ellos y acepté el cargo que me querían poner. Y hace 43 años que estoy sirviendo al Camposanto. Estos trabajos que acabo de mencionar, yo nunca he cobrado un pene por hacerlos. Es un trabajo que hago como una donación, como un trabajo para ayudarle a la comunidad, a la gente. Y además de esta Noria del Agua y Camposanto también, la gente depende en mí mucho de que cuando pasa mejor vida o muere una persona aquí en la comunidad, el que doblaba la campana es avisarle a la gente que murió tal persona. Y a mí me hablaban que yo fuera a doblar. Todo el que se moría viene aquí a mi casa, ¿puede ir a doblar? Sí, ¿por qué no? Luego me dicen, ¿podrá rezar? Vamos a rezar un rosario al difunto tal día, ¿podrá rezarlo? Está bien, yo lo rezo. Y luego después me dicen, ¿podrá dar el eulogy, la eulogía en el Camposanto cuando lo van a enterrar? Y le dije, yo lo hago si ustedes quieren. De modo que la gente viene a mí y me hacen sentir bien, ¿no? ¿Por qué vienen a mí? ¿Por qué? Por alguna razón, ¿no? Y yo siempre estoy listo para servirle a la gente. Y en este Camposanto yo los trato a todos por igual. Ahí no es mejor mi papá, o mi vecino, o mi tío, o mi hermano, no. Todas. Las reglas que están ahí son para todos. Y yo no voy a hacer por uno y por otros no. Si hago por uno, hago por todos. Si no hago por aquel, no hago por nadie. Y nunca le he dicho a nadie, no puedo, no quiero, solamente que hubiera una razón muy grande. Siempre estoy, y no nomás aquí en la comunidad, me hablan desde afuera, de Taos, de Cuesta, de Costilla, de Mora, a ver si puedo ir a rezar rosario o esto y lo otro. Y nunca me hago para atrás. Porque yo quiero servirle a la gente. ¿Qué otra cosa, para qué otra cosa puedo servir yo en este mundo si no hago nada por mi prójimo, por mi gente mía? Fuera un hombre que no sirviera para nada. Y ansina, y es mi gusto mío servirle a la gente en lo que yo pueda. Si alguien viene y me dice, está muy enfermo, fulano de tal, pues venir a rezarle, si veo que está muy pobrecito, yo saco dinero para darles, para que se ayuden, a cosas semejantes así, ¿no? Siempre tratar de ayudar. Siempre. Y parece que Dios me ha bendecido porque nunca me ha faltado nada.
Ahora sí, dale, gracias.
Good evening. Muy buenas tardes a cada uno de ustedes. Me siento un poco triste y enojado, ¿no? Porque vine preparado para hablarles por unas 2 o 3 horas y me dieron 3 minutos. Pero está bien, oyeron todo lo que he tratado de hacer en mi vida, ¿no? Ahora, esta noche, todo lo que quiero hacer aquí ahora, que usted presente, es darle las más sinceras gracias al juez Ortega y a las demás personas que han hecho y me han escogido para que sea un hero. Escapé acá y desmayado cuando vi eso en el papel. Pero lo que me animó es que después de que vi en el papel que era un hero y no había nada más de 3 hombres ahí, puras mujeres, dije entre mí, bendito entre todas las mujeres. Quiero darle las gracias a todos. Y siempre mi enseñanza desde niño fue hacer el bien. Tuve un padre que me dio una doctrina y una crianza para hacer el bien. Cuando te hagan mal, hazles el bien. Y he tratado de seguir esos pasos, de ayudarle a la gente, a la que tiene necesidad, a la comunidad principalmente. Y me siento muy orgulloso. No me siento como un hero, pero sí me siento muy orgulloso de que Dios me ha ayudado para yo poder ayudar a la gente y a la gente que tiene necesidad. Y los que algunos tengan, vayan a mí y yo no les voy a voltear el espinazo. Ahí estoy listo para servirle a la convención. Gracias a todos y que Dios los bendiga.
I will admit I don't speak Spanish, but what I got was the storyteller who came up with not a piece of paper in front of him, and I got the story. Congratulations. Stella Marez McGinnis. In 1984, Stella's mother, Lucy Marez, was named state volunteer by then-Governor Tony Anaya. I guess I followed in her footsteps, Stella shares, as she herself has made a name for herself in Taos as a woman who can be counted on by friends, family, and the entire community. Born in a multi-generational New Mexican household, Stella grew up watching her parents' love of dance. The tradition and knowledge of dance was passed on, and along with teaching dance at Taos High School for many years, Stella has been dancing during the fiestas ever since. This past year, she served as the fiesta's Grand Marshal. In addition to dancing, Stella has spent much of her free time helping various and numerous community organizations. She has been president of the Women's Division of the local Chamber of Commerce, is a 24-year-long member of the Fraternal Order of the Eagles, which I hear most of that time is spent in the kitchen. And she has served 15 years on the Taos News' Unsung Heroes Nominating Committee. Alongside all of her volunteer work, she has nearly 55 years working as a hairdresser up until she retired. Through it all, Stella recounts that her family has been her rock for her nearly 8 decades of life in Taos. I come from a very small family, but we're all very united, even though we're so few, she said, noting her niece, her nephew, and her grandniece. I love my family. I'll do anything for my family. Stella spent a happy 27 years married to the late Joseph McGinnis, who was a prominent speech and debate coach at Taos High School. This year, in an acknowledgement of Stella's long-term service for her community, she was nominated for this award by a majority of the Unsung Heroes Committee before she arrived at a luncheon. In her true humbled manner, Stella simply states, "I'm just here to go help people, because that's what life is all about. Helping people. I love people, especially here in Taos. I have the chance to do that." Please welcome Stella Marez McGinnis.
I am Stella Marez McGinnis. Marez is my maiden name, McGinnis is my married name. I was married for 27 years, and the good Lord took him 11 years ago. So I've been alone ever since, and well, it was hard to get used to it, of course, at first, but as time goes on, I've healed, and life must go on, and I have to go on. I'm a people person. I try to stay busy and involved so that I don't get bored. And but there's so much to do around here, you don't have time to get bored. But everything is really going well. I'm thanks to God, I'm still moving and doing things. I still go dancing and love to go out with the gang. And then being born and raised here, well, I know everybody practically in town. I'm an old timer myself. I inherited this house, and so why leave? It's beautiful. I love Taos. I love the people of Taos, la gente, you know. Oh, I just love them. Taos to me is everything. Yeah, my mother and my father were dancers. They did the old-time dances, like Shadish, polka, valse, la cuna, el baile del paño. And as a little girl, I learned all these dances. So some years back, we wanted to keep it alive, and Arsenio Cordova was very instrumental, and they knew I knew all these dances, and my mom and dad used to lead the grand marches. So when Daddy died, we trained my godson, Tim Romero. We trained him, and he's my dancing partner. So we taught at the junior high for 8 years. I used to get the kids ready for the spring for programs for their parents. Those kiddos were wonderful. I love them. Like I said, they're adults now. They see me. They're happy. They always come and hug me. And I always say, "Well, do you remember how to dance?" "Oh, maybe if we took a refresher course, you know, I would learn." But once you get going, it's just like anything else, like riding a bike. Oh, we used to have so much fun. I enjoyed it. I love to dance. I'm still dancing every Friday afternoon. I go to the senior citizens dance, and by golly, we cut the rug. I love it. I love it. Dancing is in my blood. Oh, let's see, we had a parade 3 years ago, because the last 2 years with pandemic, there was no fiesta. So I was the Grand Marshal that year, and I had so much fun. I enjoyed it. I heard my name at least 2,000 times, and I would tell them, "Not me, I'm doing it Taos style." So man, I just waved and talked to everybody, and oh, I had a wonderful time. I love crowds, I love people. So yeah, I'm glad I was asked, because wow, to me that was a great honor. And anything that I do for the town or for Taos is an honor. I have had a lot of people that come and ask me, what do I do this and that? Well, maybe I should have gone to be a counselor also. You know, people need to talk, and they can't talk to just everybody. So if they come to me and they give me their problems, I try to help them out as best as I can. Like I said, I'm not trained for that, but you know, and I think they leave pretty happy when I talk to them and I tell them it's not as bad, you know, but sometimes you have a problem and you know, you think, oh my God, this is it, you know, end of the world, but no. But like I said, there again, I love people, and I will help anybody that needs my help. I always have, and I always will. Well, I guess they said it all. I'll just keep it short and sweet. You all know I'm the daughter of Felipe and Lucy Marez. My father was from Taos, mother was from Wagon Mound, New Mexico. Came here and fell in love with my father, and they got married. I have a beautiful family. I've always loved Taos. My thing now is trying to help the older people. I do home visits. I am, like I said, all this that I do is volunteer. I don't get paid for any of it. They love me, they come in, they always have cookies or coffee or something for me. I'm there. In 2 months, I will be 80 years old, and I'm still not too poop to pop. And I still go dancing every Saturday or Friday afternoon from 1 to 4. By golly, I just love to boogie. In 1998, I did win the state polka contest. Tim Romero was my dancing partner, and my mom trained us. We led grand marches. We have danced in Arizona. They have flown us to Arizona to entertain. We had our little group with Mr. Cordova. There's different things I've done in my life. It's just not only work all the time, but it's good to be good to people. I love people, especially here in Taos. I was born and raised here, and I know every corner and cranny and lots of people. Too bad lots of my friends, my older friends, have already passed. I hope I don't pass too soon yet. I'm not done yet. Believe me, I've just started. I have a lot of things to do, and I want to keep on dancing and keep Taos going. I love la gente de Taos. I love them. And my ranchitos, where I was born, my goodness, it's beautiful. The scenery, green trees, flowers. I love it. I love all of you. I won't bore you anymore. You have a good evening. I want to especially thank the committee, the nomination committee, and Mr. Baker is a very nice man and a very, very good man. He's been very good to me. Come on, Mr. Baker, let's give him a hand. Thank you. You have always treated me very polite and very kind. I thank all of you for being here, all the other people that are being nominated. Listen, it's wonderful. I'm glad. I'm happy. So tomorrow, Friday, let's all go to the baile. Let's all go dance. Shake a leg. Pasen buenas noches. And I love you, Taos, and all of you.
So Stella's leaving the stage and she says, "I'm crazy." It's a fun night. So we now all have an invitation to go dancing on Friday with the very nice Mr. Baker. Dr. Dolores, or Dell, Endres, is the definition of an unsung hero. Reeling off a list of people with whom she has collaborated to bring health care and other basic needs to underserved populations in Taos County and around the world. As a retired physician, she sees life and her humanitarian work as nothing but a team effort. The seventh of 8 children, Dell grew up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin, where she attended medical school. Part of her education included an international medical rotation in Nicaragua in 1977. It was that experience during the lead up to a civil war that opened her desire to travel and to do service work. Dell has participated in medical service trips to Mexico, Central America, South America, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Haiti, and Nepal. In 1989, she landed in Taos, where she spent the next 16 years providing family medicine to the communities of both Taos and Picaris Pueblos. When she retired from Indian Health Services in 2005, Dr. Endres continued another 10 years in her practice with Schreiber Family Medicine. Dell has played a pivotal role in distributing over 3,300 vaccine doses as a COVID response effort. Heroes are people who are doing their jobs, she noted. Dell has assisted in literacy programs in Taos, including For the Love of Reading, an in-school volunteer project is one example. Erecting little free libraries that now total 15 in Taos County is another one of her efforts. Those are those great little boxes that you see along the roadways. Dell is also involved with United by Friendship, an international humanitarian aid organization whose focus is to secure drinking water in Guatemala. She is also active in United for Change in Bolivia that focuses on education projects empowering women. I'm welcome to present Dell Endres as an unsung hero this year.
I'm Dell Endres, and I moved to Taos in February of '89. So I was raised in a dairy farm in Wisconsin, one of 8 children. Actually, because of that, I wanted to be a vet, but there was no vet school in Wisconsin, so I ended up going to medical school instead, which is intriguing. We had an opportunity to get a free trip, actually, to Albuquerque to be exposed to the Indian Health Service. And I and 3 other residents decided to take the trip, and 3 of us ended up actually retiring from the Indian Health Service more than 25 years later, which was really good recruitment for them. And it was just an exposure to a different part of the country. We weren't able to travel as children. When you work and have a dairy farm, you stay there. And I loved the different cultures and the experiences in that, and I thought I'd just do it for a couple years and then go back to Wisconsin. But the culture, the weather, just everything had me continue into the Indian Health Service and use that as my total career. Guess what I think I've learned is we are definitely more alike than we are different. And it seems like, especially politically in that, the differences are exaggerated and brought forth as the big important issues, but we really need to look at the fact that each country has their own different cultures and their languages and things like that, and we definitely are different, but as far as people, when you meet people on an individual level, we are much more alike than we are different. And that can help you when you want to do something for somebody else. It makes it very easy to give to somebody else. I was one of the people who actually initiated the little free libraries in Taos area, where we put up about 15 of them. And because they started actually in Wisconsin, so I knew about them. So when I started to work for the Taos Immigrant Allies, taking over the Little Free Pantry project was kind of an extension of that. It's much harder because food is harder than books, and you have to make sure they're not spoiling, and there's food in the boxes and there's something there, and you need someone to check it almost every day. So, but that also is very rewarding, even though many times we don't see or know who's using the pantries. We just know the food is being taken away and somebody is using it. Okay, I actually have 2 cats, Veronica and Archie, and they can be very demanding when they need to be fed, but they also sleep a lot. And if Archie's not on one of his hunts bringing animals in that he caught to see me in the middle of the night, everything is fine.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the nomination and the committee and all the work that people have done. I think it expressed the view that my first 16 plus years at Taos in '89, since '89, I had the honor and privilege of working at the Taos Creek Indian Health Center. They will always be in my heart forever, and I hope I always have an appropriate outsider connection to that community. During my career, as it's stated, I also did 25 volunteer mission trips on 4 continents. These were not tourist locations, but they did open my eyes and my heart to see how the majority of the people in the world live, and seeing firsthand the associated worldwide immigration issues. And I think I'm going to focus mainly on what we have done in the last 2.5 years with COVID as part of Taos Immigrant Allies, which I joined right about the time of COVID. It's a volunteer organization that started in 2016 to help immigrant families. When COVID hit, it took on a new entire role and much more serious, I think. With the help of B'nai Shalom, Betty Meyerson and her board, we were able to, who were our fiscal agent, we were able to write grants and obtain grants from Robert Keeler Foundation, the New Mexico Foundation, the Con Elma Health Foundation, as well as the Taos Community Foundation. And we also had many, many very generous donors from the community. We raised over $180,000 to assist the families with rent, utilities, food, DACA fees, and more. During this time, we also collaborated with the Sin Fronteras Nuevo Mexico, Jose and Vanessa Gonzalez's group, who also helps immigrant families. And I am excited to announce that the 2 groups will be joining forces soon to better serve our immigrant families. I think everybody saw about the Taos, little free pantries that are around town. There's 10 of them. And it's basically food insecurity of non-perishable food, so the families can reach them at 24/7 when they need it, and they're not at work, and their family might be hungry, their kids might be hungry. But that's been a very important project of ours. Taos Immigrant Allies also realized that many in Taos were not able to obtain the COVID vaccination in an easy, equitable way, especially the most vulnerable of our population. So we started to work with the Department of Health and had 23 vaccination clinics, giving out 3,300 vaccines. When no one had to show an ID, we didn't ask for them. No one had to make an appointment. You could, and it helps, but you didn't have to. And we also did not ask for any insurance. This was the way to be equitable so that everybody in Taos County who wanted a vaccine could do it. We also held the clinic sometimes on the evenings and weekends to make it easier for everybody to access it. We held the clinics at St. James Episcopal Church, as well as Juan I. Gonzalez Agriculture Building, and I appreciate both of them giving us their locations. I accept this honor for all volunteers I have worked with in Taos area and around the world in the past, present, and hopefully in the future. I also want to especially honor all the volunteers in Taos. You know, where would this community be if we did not have our volunteers and all the great nonprofits and other volunteer organizations? First, and the biggest kudo and appreciation goes to Bea Bossimo, Suzanne McCarthy, and Wendy Clark, who have been the consistent volunteers for Taos Immigrant ALI since 2016. Another big thanks to Jean Kennan, Betsy, Gladys, Deanna, Bea, Jose, Vanessa, and many other volunteers and helpers. My personal heroes most of the time are our little free pantry stewards, past, present, and hopefully in the future. We always need more. The stewards work as a team to monitor, restock, and clean each little free pantry almost daily. Tens of thousands of dollars of food has been donated through the little free pantries via the Unitarian Church, First Presbyterian Church, Taos United Community Church, and the Seco Catholic Church, as well as many, many dedicated community stewards who are on the team of each little free pantry.
In the past few years, it's been very hard on our community. I think a lot of us have some post-traumatic stress from COVID, and I think the community also has some post-traumatic stress together. And just like businesses and agencies are struggling to find enough employees, many nonprofits do not have enough volunteers and donors. The Taos News has notices in each week's paper listing volunteer opportunities, as well as seen on the internet on Taos Connect. I'd like to urge you to consider helping our community in any way you can. Let's all do our part to take care of each other. Thank you very much.
As I said, if Dell doesn't epitomize what an unsung hero is, because her last piece is, first she forgot her bear. But more importantly, the reminder and the call to action for all of us. There's always more to do, and thank you for reminding us of that. Meryl Tidings. I'm going to do the cue up so everyone kind of gets to get like the energy out. When simply asked, why do you do what you do? Meryl Tidings, a critical care nurse, sums it up quickly. I just think there's nothing greater than to be of service. I have my constitution about me. I have my wits. I have a skill that I can offer. I don't do it to make myself feel better about myself. It's easier to be of service than not. The same drive that pushed her to join the ranks of Wildland Firefighters Elite Hotshot Firefighters, that was a big sentence. This inspired Meryl to become a critical care nurse, a role that requires special skills, endurance, fast decision-making, and emotional resilience when treating desperately sick or critically wounded patients. Meryl combined those two skill sets to become a wilderness EMT and a flight nurse. Meryl works internationally as well, having traveled to Uganda during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and to the post-invasion Ukraine this past May. In America, you just plug a tube into the wall and there's oxygen, she shared, recalling her time in Uganda last year where there was a severe shortage of oxygen. The small hospital didn't have ventilators or a capacity to intubate patients who couldn't breathe on their own. All we could do really was help people who ran out of oxygen die comfortably. David Elliott, Taos News' 2021 Citizen of the Year, said Meryl helped lead Holy Cross Hospital through the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly in the first year when infection rates were high and people in our community were dying. Meryl was one of the people who immediately agreed to put on the PPE and go work with the patients directly. She is selfless, and she's a leader. I told you guys this was not like, we didn't practice all of this. David continued, the fact that she picked Taos and working at Holy Cross during this crisis had an immediate effect on our community in terms of setting an example that other people can follow. Reflecting on her time in the Ukraine with an ad hoc medical team she formed in partnership with members of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, Meryl shared, most refugee patients couldn't sleep and had major anxiety. They fled with absolutely nothing. There were lots of tears, hugging, and just plain talking. I was often asked, why aren't you mending soldiers? Her simple response, whether in words or deeds, you are just as important. Please congratulate Meryl Tidings as an unsung hero.
My name's Meryl Tidings. I am in my 40s, and I am a nurse by profession. I've been a nurse for 11 years, and most of my nursing has been in the emergency setting. And I'm from New Mexico. I was born in Santa Fe and went to middle school and high school in Albuquerque. I've lived in Taos about 6 years. I picked Taos because I feel really strongly connected to the landscape of New Mexico, the mountains and the high alpine sagebrush. But Santa Fe didn't fit quite right, and I'd already lived in Albuquerque, and I wasn't too stoked about Albuquerque. So I love Taos because it has mountains and rivers and skiing and mountain biking and road biking, and it's right out my front door, and there's the community, the people that live here also enjoy those activities. What got me into nursing was I've always had service jobs. When I was in high school, my parents said, don't get a job unless it's a job that you're being of service to people or that you actually enjoy. Like, don't go work at the mall, don't go flip burgers. I mean, also service, but like where you really are engaging and helping people. So I became a lifeguard and a ski instructor, and I have a degree in political science. And so when I first graduated from college, I went and worked in the U.S. Senate in Washington, D.C. for a New Mexico U.S. Senator. And, that is like, ultimate service job, at a very high level. But what I was lacking in that job was hands-on. And I really wanted to be close to people. While I felt like I was of great service to the people of New Mexico, I wasn't seeing them, I wasn't touching them, I wasn't like having like the type of one-on-one service that I wanted to be involved in. And so, lots of people that know me said, your lifestyle, your personality, what have you thought about nursing? And so it just makes sense. You can be any kind of nurse. And so it's really, like, my personality and my lifestyle have really, and the career of nursing have really gelled well together. Well, one of my service jobs was I was on a hotshot crew for 3 summers. Still my most favorite job I've ever had. I mean, I gained 20 family members in those 3 years. Like, they're still some of the people that are the closest to me in my life. And it's a community, and it's hard work, and everybody, you're responsible for yourself, but everybody, there's a level of expectation that of your physical work, of your mental capacity that's, that you collectively share. And so, I mean, we would have 20-hour days just digging in the dirt all day, and I loved it. Like the conversation on the line of people digging, like, it was hilarious, it was sad. Like, I know 20 people so well, and like they're still part of my family. I think it's resilience, and it's like, I didn't know these parts about me until I was in these experiences, and then I learned that I'm okay. I've seen some really awful things, and I try really hard not to internalize. Like, I have, the people in my life and the love for the outdoors. Like, that's kind of my coping mechanism. But I think that the reason why I'm drawn to these extreme situations is because I have the fortitude, I have the resilience, I have whatever that is that can face it and handle it, appropriately and safely. The way I see nursing, any part of nursing often, especially in the emergency room though, is that you're seeing people on their worst day. And so you may have already seen 20 people that stubbed their toe or, broken arm or something like super serious, but like each, in my opinion, working in an emergency room, like each person, gets a fresh slate from you, because you are seeing them in their really, really awful state. And it's my job as a nurse to be kind and compassionate and supportive of whatever it is that they're there for, and help them have a successful visit to the emergency room.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know which parts of that would get
put into the video. I didn't write anything because I just knew that being here in this room and experiencing the other people that I was nominated with would be such a huge part of how I felt about getting this nomination. So I truly have to say thank you so much to those of you that nominated me, and also to the other people that I'm receiving this award with. Like, as this night goes on, I'm just like more and more and more in awe of the people that I'm in community with. So thank you. And I don't really have very many people to thank, except for a big part of this award for me was being a part of COVID at the hospital at Holy Cross. And it wasn't just me. There was hundreds of other people that were also there on the front line right there with me. It was the EMTs, it was the paramedics, it was the registration clerks, it was the doctors, it was the patient care technicians, it was the case managers. I mean, I could like go on forever, but while I'm super happy to be their representative, like this community truly, truly, truly came together during a time that was horrible. It was horrible for the world, but I'm astounded with how well this community came together. So it's just such an honor to be a part of that. So for that, I say thank you.
I want to take 1 minute and just thank Razor Sharps Productions. They are doing they are handling all of the media attention, they're handling all the lights, they're handling the camera. For those of you who have attended with us in the past, the last couple of years we've been in very small environments. And it was always this funny thing because we would practice and we'd go, and you had lights and the camera was like literally like right here. And they'd go, okay, Lisa, look at the camera, stay in frame, don't move around a lot, smile. And it was this constant like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I just have to say, I am so relaxed tonight. And I'm just watching this, there's so much more relaxation because we have so much more room. But I want to say especially thank you to Ruben and Javier and Omar. You guys make us look fantastic. And you make us all feel very confident. So I want to say thank you to that because it's definitely a lovely thing. Toby Martinez, you are next up. Are you ready? He's ready. Nature has never been far from Toby. As a longtime Taoseño, Toby recalls growing up helping his family herd 800 sheep from the mesa up into the canyons near Rancho de Taos. Look, he's already here. After graduating from Taos High School, Toby went on to get a degree in range management from New Mexico State University. Upon graduating in 1969, he has spent the majority of his life working in various forestry and community service positions. Working with the U.S. Forest Service, Toby has worked in several positions in New Mexico, including Taos, Santa Fe, Silver City, and Peñasco. He has also worked in positions in Arizona and Utah until he arrived back in Santa Fe when he was appointed by then Governor Gary Johnson to be the New Mexico State Forester. During his time in the Johnson administration, Martinez worked to create a number of beneficial state programs, including an inmate work camp out of Los Lunas that utilized minimum security prisoners to work on federal land projects, as well as one in grants that did the same with female inmates. During his time with the Forest Service, Toby was instrumental in securing over $5 million to assist with thinning the forest in our region, and we all know the importance of that after this last spring. Persistence has continued to pay off for Toby since returning to Taos in 2004. Continuing his work in nature conservancy and sustainability, Toby has served in various leader positions with local Aseki associations, the local chapter of the Association for Retarded Citizens, the Ranchos de Taos Neighborhood Association, and volunteering with Taos Land Trust. Martinez said, receiving the Unsung Heroes Award is humbling and surprising. I was reluctant to accept it because I don't want to bring credit to myself. I'm very appreciative. I just don't like to be in the limelight, he added. Please join me in welcoming Toby Martinez to the limelight, as he is recognized as a 2002 Unsung Hero.
My name is Toby Martinez, or Tobias Martinez, a lot of people know me by. And I was born and raised here in Ranchos de Taos, in the home right here that we're by. My family was basically sheep ranchers. You know, I see some of my family tree back to the 1800s, you know. The population, the ranching, farming population that, you know, took care of those lands is not here anymore. There are people that are interested in keeping those things going, and hopefully those can be incorporated in the future. There are people that have small, you know, flocks of sheep, and they have small lands of small herds of cattle that they graze on national forests. This year, most of them found themselves really in tough place. What's going to happen in 20, 30, 40 years? My hope is that we maintain our acequias, that we maintain our traditions, that we keep at least a certain degree of farming and ranching in place. The land, the agricultural lands where the acequias serve, many of them have basically in disrepair. The acequias are not being maintained. There is a program in Alianza that's called Land Link, where you link people that have land with people that but can't farm it anymore, with people that don't have land but want to farm, and try to link those two together and promote agriculture, you know. Probably more so the farmers market type of production. There's a lot of good farmers market products coming out of this valley. We need a lot more of that. Though we're not grazing it and we're not ranching it, it's just there, you know. And why are you taxing us at this really high level? People are gonna lose their land that was basically passed on from their family, from their parents, and a lot of that is at risk. I think one of the key things is I like to meet people, and I hope they find that the people from this community are friendly as a result of that encounter. Right here, I have a system for watering. This is all watered by the ditch that you're standing right now, all of it. All the way back up to the highway. The orchard is watered by the ditch. Well, my neighbors, all as a result of us working together and kind of showing them the use of water and so forth, all of them irrigate their places with a ditch. People that move here because they love what they see, and you know, we should help them identify the kinds of things that would really help as being part of the community and being good neighbors and so forth. I have very good neighbors. Maybe that's part of a little reflection on my wife and me. Well, I'm humbled as well. When I was asked about whether I would be receptive, I really wasn't very much in favor. And one of the things that you know, I've done throughout my life was to do things without, you know, being recognized. That's just been part of my culture. In fact, one of the things that I wrote up is that people that get recognized and get awards are known as lambes, brown nosers. That's the only reason you got it, is you're a brown noser. And so I was reluctant, but I got convinced by some people, including my family, that ought to accept that. And so here I am, and I thank you and all the recipients and the committee, Taos News, for this honor. And I reflect on my reason for being here, and it's really, really varied. Mostly focused on basically people, basically on agriculture and economic development. The $5 million, the inmate work camp. One thing that wasn't mentioned was when I was a ranger in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and I spent 4 years there. And when a year after I got there, there was this national employment program for the youth. It was for individuals 18 to 24, and so, I mean, it was additional work for me. I didn't get paid any more for doing it. But anyway, I took it on and brought in 100 18 to 24-year-olds that we housed at Highlands University, and housed and boarded them, and then worked them in the woods. All this forest that you saw burning this summer, they worked in that area, Las Vegas area, Hermit's Peak and all that. And it was, I still see many of those folks that are in Taos. And anyway, that was a program that made a big, huge indent in the upbringing of those young individuals that grew up in northern New Mexico. And it was focused, the employment that I brought in, the individuals were all from the northern New Mexico, northern Rio Grande Valley, basically Española, Taos, Cuesta, Costilla, all those areas. But anyway, the inmate work camp was the same thing, employing individuals that otherwise wouldn't have a place in the future. I remember hearing this one inmate say, the worst day that I spent out in the woods on fires, in the rain, in the mud, is much better than being in here. And many of those went on to actually get training in forestry and get rehabilitated for real. And so those are things that are rewards to me, and all the things that I was able to be a part of. And I often wonder, well, why was I able to do all those things? Well, it wasn't just me. It was gaining the trust, getting the support, getting the partners. I always said, I'm not the smartest kid in the block. I always looked for people that were smarter than me. And I think that made a huge difference and allowed me to accomplish many of the things I did. But the biggest thing I want to point to is that I moved my family 12 times, through New Mexico, through Arizona, through Utah, and then back to New Mexico, to Taos, actually to Taos twice, from Peñasco to Taos, and then to Silver City. And my kids followed me, and most of all, my wife, Kathy, followed me. And supported me. So I too have an unsung hero. And she's sitting right there. My parents died the same year, and I remember when we went to the funeral home and we came home, I had a retarded sister, and she met us at the door. All my brothers and myself were walking in, and we walked up in the door, and she met us at the door, and she said, Toby, I'm going to go live with you. And I thought, oh my God, we didn't have the room, we weren't prepared, but we all adjusted. And most of all, my wife adjusted, and she did an unbelievable job for 35 years. 35 years, she took care of her, took care of me and the kids, and I was a handful. Still am, really. So anyway, those are things that I think we all grow up with. We are partners, our neighbors, our friends. those are the people that make us who we are, our community. And so I am very thankful for that. I'm thankful for all the experiences, all the friendships, all the people that I still look forward to doing. I see a few people in the audience. In fact, I was talking to the mayor earlier about some things that I still need to pursue, and I need to talk to you too, Judge. And it has to do with some things with the acequias. And so, anyway, still some challenges. Earlier I mentioned to somebody that, oh, maybe I'm done. I'm already almost 78 years old. And then I hear Mr. Pacheco, 87 years old, and he's still kicking and going. I said, well, maybe I'm not quite done yet. So anyway, as long as I'm healthy and my mind isn't as, at crisp, and I forget things. I meet people and I say, who are you? Oh, Toby! Sorry. Anyway, well, thank you for the honor, and I appreciate. And all the other recipients, I congratulate you as well. Thank you.
And another person who forgot their bear. I'm going to pass this up. I'm already watching sort of notes coming around because everyone's going to be like, okay, out in the parking lot, there's going to be political conversations and that next kind of advocacy setup. I can see it already. Camille Rivera. I've decided I'm just going to announce the name so everybody can get kind of ready for it. Unsung hero Camille Rivera is a certified athletic trainer for Taos High School, where she also runs the grads program and the daycare center for the school. Born and raised in Taos, Camille is proud to be able to give back to the community and help the school that she graduated from. Camille will share that she was inspired to become an athletic trainer, as it provides her the opportunity to work with athletes of all ages. I love being able to help people, and it is extremely rewarding when I can get an athlete back on the field or court after they have sustained an injury. Camille earned both her Bachelor of Science in Athletic Training and her Master's of Health Administration from UNM in 2011. She earned her teacher's license through Santa Fe Community College and returned to Taos High School as a teacher in 2015. Continuing on her educational and professional journey, Camille is currently working on her administrator's license to add to her credentials. The New Mexico Grads Program is a multi-generational case management model which helps expecting students achieve a high school education, gain employable skills, and develop positive parenting and healthy relationship skills for themselves and their families. As Taos High School Principal C.J. Grace shares, the Grads Program under Camille's direction has been recognized by the state for the outstanding care and support provided for teen parents from the time that they find out that they are expecting through their high school career and on to college. Camille has helped to case manage more than 35 teen parents, and the program has an 80% Taos High School graduation rate. So you won't be surprised when I tell you that Camille was recognized for her work in 2019 with the New Mexico Grads New Teacher Award. Camille shared, being able to help teenage parents navigate their way through high school is something that I love to do. Being able to have an on-site daycare is so fortunate for our staff and students. Seeking funding to better our childcare is something that I love to do, because I love making sure our children and staff are well taken care of and have everything they need to succeed. 2002 Unsung Hero, Camille Rivera.
My name is Camille Rivera. I've been a teacher at Taos High for 7 years now. I also do athletic training, and I run the grads program for the daycare here. So athletic training is, I work with all of our student athletes, making sure that they're safe and getting them back on the playing field if they get hurt. I teach sports medicine as well as the grads program, so I help all of our parenting teams kind of just navigate their way through high school, making sure that they get their degree and their high school diploma, and then just kind of getting them through to the next step to get them into college or anything that they want to go on in life for. So I also manage the daycare, which is our childcare center on campus for our staff and students. So the grads program serves any teens ages 14 through 24, actually. So we have case managed kids that go through this program, and even afterwards we can kind of keep an eye on them. It's important because it allows us to keep our kids on campus and in school, so it allows them to just be a normal teenager even though they do have children. It's a really positive program. We have amazing staff that kind of work with all of us. We have and serve not only our teachers' kids, so a lot of our staff kids go here, so we're allowed to go to work, including my own kid. So my kid attends the childcare center, and so does my 5-year-old. She went through 0 to 5, and then of course she started kindergarten, but she has attended this childcare center this entire time. So it's allowed me to be here on campus, teaching, and doing everything that I do here. So it's a big plus for all of us. So I have kind of like a prerequisite kind of program, which is pre-athletic training here that I do teach, and then I have an advanced sports medicine class. So our students are allowed to navigate their way through the classes so they can actually help with some of the athletic taping that needs to be done, some of the first aid skills. I mean, they're all taught CPR, they're taught hands-on skills to kind of help with the 300 student athletes that we have. So I cover all varsity sports. If somebody does get hurt, our team or opposing team, I do primary care for them, and then I also do follow-up care, whether it's rehab programs, splinting, bracing, taping, just to get them to play on their field again. So I was born and raised in Taos. I left for a while and I attended UNM in Albuquerque, and that's when I got my undergrad in Bachelor of Science in Athletic Training. And then I came back. I eventually got my teaching license along with it because there was an opportunity to do both. And so I got my teaching license at that time, and I had my first child as I worked on my master's degree. So once I finished my master's degree, I finished that in health administration, and I've been teaching since then, and I use kind of the athletic training as a precursor to everything else. So I utilize students to help me a lot kind of get through my day. So everyone said, how do you do it all? It's the students. The students really, really help me. So all the small taping during the day, I mean, if somebody needs a Band-Aid, a small little gauze on their arm, or I mean, even if they just need a small massage because they have a cramp, the students help a lot. So they get me through my day so I can kind of circulate and do everything that I need to do in the daycare, with my grad students, doing meetings, so teaching the classes that I do. So having that extra help with the students and the high school students has been a great help. My biggest thing is confidence. I think all of our students lack that confidence a little bit, and so having the confidence to be able to, in athletic training, put your hands on somebody, actually help them. If you need help, and speak out and say, I need help. And what I like to instill in our grads parents and our teen parents is that they can do it, that they can finish, that they can do anything they put their mind to. It does not matter if they have a child, they can still complete high school, they can still complete college, which a ton of our students have actually completed the program, and they've gone on and they're doing amazing things right now. So that having a child is not necessarily a detrimental effect to them, that it can actually make them grow up a little bit faster and they can move on and do great things. So.
Well, I guess this is a little different than speaking to 115-year-olds a day, even though they point out everything possible on your face, or if somebody peed in your Cheerios that morning. But I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity. I have a lot of support behind me, and like I said, I'm able to do what I do because of it. I have an amazing family, a husband, a support system, my kids. My kids even attend sporting events with me when people get hurt. So I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old that stand there and they wait. They wait and they're patient, and I told myself I wouldn't cry, but I guess here we are. This year has been challenging. It's been very challenging. As a teacher at the high school, it's different. Things are different. The pandemic has changed us. It's changed our students, but we've risen up and we've become strong, and we've been able to get through each day. Somebody said, we stay afloat. That's what I've done this year, is stay afloat. I teach my kids every day that it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to walk into a classroom when we don't know what's going to happen the next day. But we get through, and we still help each other. So, like somebody said, la gente, we need them. We need our people. Everybody that's behind us takes care of us. That's how we get through. So, of course, I have amazing family and friends. I have a really strong support system to my mother and my father, my sister, my brother. Thank you. And everybody that has been along the way. So we have friends, we have people that stand behind us, we have coworkers, we have bosses, and of course my students. My students are the one that keep me going. So when they say, Camille, you're writing another grant. Why are you writing another grant? That means we have to open more boxes and put stuff together. And that means I gotta go down to the office and take 20 more boxes upstairs, but they do. They go downstairs, they bring it upstairs, they build it all, and we create these amazing rooms at the high school. So that support system and these kids are the ones that got us together. I mean, I had a 7th period girl, she curled my hair today. And she said, can I do your makeup? Because this is fun, and I want to help you. And it looks like you had a rough morning. I was like, thanks. I did have a rough morning. My 2-year-old is crying, and my 5-year-old didn't want to go to school, so they notice things. Like another one said, it truly does take a village to do what we do. It does. It takes a village to be a mom, a working mom, to get up every single morning, to be on time, to make sure you don't have that anxiety to get through your day, like what is gonna happen next? We had a tragic event in our community happen just last week, and we continue to have a little bit of tragic events, but we're getting through each day, and we help each other, and we keep each other safe just by closing doors. And I mean, relying on our students are the ones that are resilient. When they are having anxiety attacks or they're nervous about something, they come to you and they need your help and they need you to be strong. So I've learned that confidence and being able to stand up in front of them and say, it's okay, and I'm here for you, and whatever you need. Sometimes my grad kids, they don't have a babysitter because they don't have family, or their mother or father passed away, or they're a 16-year-old teen parent trying to navigate through life. I take their kids home with me. I take them home, I give them a ride, I will stay after at the daycare to just make sure until whenever they get out of work, or they just need that extra little bit of help. I can't imagine being a teen parent at 15 years old. I'm almost 30, and I struggle with my kids every single morning and trying to figure out who's gonna pick them up. My husband is my rock. He picks them up, he takes them, how can I help you? Where can I meet you at? Like, what sporting event can I pick them up from? They're the ones that really keep me going, is my kids and my family. So I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you to Sonia Struck from the Lore Foundation for the amazing nomination, and Principal CJ Grace. I was reading some of the things and I was like, wow, these people really do care. They're amazing. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I won't forget my bear.
Thank you, Camille, for reminding us what it means to show up with full heart and open heart and not being afraid to let the tears flow. Thank you. Juanita Marcus Turley has experienced nearly 9 decades of Taos' history. She's been dancing in traditional ceremonies at Taos Pueblo and other powwows across the country since she was a young child. Following in the footsteps of her father, Ben Marcus, who also danced throughout the country. Juanita grew up with her parents, always welcoming visitors to the Pueblo. They had so many other outside people come to visit. We learned how to talk to visitors, she said. This led to her beginning to guide tours at the Pueblo at the age of 14. The money raised by her and her siblings went to support the family. Part of it went to my mother just to help her out. My dad had a good job, but still, we were taught how to share, she said. Juanita attended St. Catherine's Indian School in Albuquerque as the next chapter in her life. After her parents turned down the offer of Juanita entering a convent as she had been offered, she attended secretarial school at Santa Fe Business College that introduced her to politics. Juanita was present during the return of Blue Lake to Taos Pueblo and was able to speak to President Nixon directly, reminding him, "We're fighting for our Blue Lake. Don't forget." After her divorce from her first husband, Juanita met and married Frank Turley, a blacksmith from California who had settled in Santa Fe. The couple spent a happy 39 years together before Frank died of COVID in 2020. The pandemic changed a lot of things in Juanita's life, including her ability to dance. Taos Pueblo had been closed to the public, and they had not hosted a powwow since just before COVID swept through the country. Before all this COVID took over, she said, I used to go out and watch the dancing. Also, if somebody needed help with their costumes, I was also there to help them out. Part of our life is that we support people and that doing as much as they can for our people. As the world begins to reopen, Juanita shared that she is considering dancing again. No one's going to stop me if I start, she declared. Please welcome Juanita Marcus Turley.
I am Juanita Marcus Turley. That's an early Turley. Both my parents were very good. They were very active in both our village way of life and also encouraging us to go to school other than just being at the day school, and for us to try out and try to learn about other people away from home. I was always home with my parents, so that's the way I learned how to become a model. It's easy because all you have to do is sit down and face the camera, and I also modeled for the Taos artist group, but that was fun. Well, our first dances were in Santa Fe for the Santa Fe Fiesta powwow. But also, my dad was invited to so many high schools in New Mexico, other than Santa Fe and Albuquerque, but we'd go to Arizona, California, and dance, and later on, we went on our own to dance wherever the powwow was already started. So we would get invitations, and we made use of those invitations, but those different communities used to provide us gas money. So when we got there, they knew they could help us out to come back home. You have to share the dance way, the kiva way, and the non-Indian way. And this way you build up that whole bunch of activities instead of just one thing to look forward to. from the minute we could walk, we danced pretty early. So that taught us to be able to look forward to, just like the adult boys and girls. I include all my family and friends. I try to encourage them by asking them if they need help, because you need a lot of outfits, costumes. And sometimes people don't like to lend out things. But if we talked about it, maybe we can all help each other. But Taos is supposed to be well known for getting their Indian clothing ready, whether it's the kiva way or the dance way, the corn dance way or the powwow way. There's always somebody has an outfit. But they don't need special written invitation. It's public notice that our village is open for all of our people to come out and help out. As long as you have your dance outfits, your costume, get out there and make use of them. So don't let them sit there like they have nothing to do.
Okay. Good evening. I am Bob Opeme. That means knowing flowers in our Taos Pueblo name. I would like to thank the Taos News and everyone who worked and recognized me and the other people being honored here tonight. My very first name was given to me by my godmother, Juanita Martinez. And her husband Sam was my standing godfather. And I know that future generations will never know what the village was like before everyone moved out for the electricity. Gone are the days of being there and getting to know one another. I pray that our language revolves around the traditional ways where we survive the rest of time. May our songs and dances continue to honor the ways our ancestors showed us. I would like to thank my dear parents, Ben Marcus and Manuelita Marcus, for giving us the very best customs to be willing and joyful to celebrate this life. They gave me my $3 Mary Esther Winters, Kathleen Michaels, and Patricia Michaels. I'm a proud grandmother, great-grandmother, and great-great-grandmother as well. I have traveled to many places, have danced countless miles. My first buckskin was made by my father. He hunted the deer, tanned the hide, and the beadwork trim. He also sewed for one for my sister Sally and a dozen other more dresses for other women. I will remain to continue to dance, sing, and share these ways while I'm able to continue doing so. There are so many stories to share and so little time. I dedicate this to my beloved late husband, Frank Turley, and to all my relations here and throughout the United States, our homeland. Ta'a, thank you. Emma? Vào gió on Emma? Okay. That's it.
Ooh, wow. So I knew there was going to be singing from this microphone. I forgot my 7th inning stretch moment. And I realized I'm going to pass on it because when I was sitting at dinner, I kind of asked my table mates, so isn't there kind of something going on in baseball like today? And there was absolute dead silence at my table. So no one knew what baseball stuff was over at my table. We were talking about reading and literacy and what we were all reading, but not about baseball. So, Eric Marez. Lady Tigers basketball head coach Eric Marez is a 5th-generation Taoseño. Eric has a master's degree in social work from Highlands University and has clinical expertise in substance abuse, grief and loss, co-occurring diagnosis, and trauma recovery. As the clinical director at Taos Behavioral Health, Eric is known for his compassionate and caring manner with both staff and clients, qualities he also demonstrates as a coach. Marez has applied his psychology background to the basketball court. The girls on the team use words such as vulnerability, trust, and mindfulness when talking about basketball. Eric has brought the activities of emotional intelligence, incorporating both reflection and teamwork techniques to practice and games. The merging of philosophy and sports leadership are nothing new, although Eric's embrace of it has extended quite beyond. As shared by Taos High School Athletic Director Hernando Chavez, Coach Marez has been such a blessing to the Taos High School Athletic Department. He is a tireless worker who is dedicated to the youth of our community. A true man of integrity, he is a great coach and clinician, but an even better father and husband. I'll be forever grateful for his friendship. According to Amanda Gallego, a clinical colleague, Eric's ability to heal is truly authentic and unparalleled when it comes to helping others. If there is a need, he fills it. Where there is fear, he reduces it. Amanda went on to say, we can all become better humans by adopting Eric's value of care and concern for others. Eric Marez is not only a hero, his compassion is a legacy. Please welcome Eric Marez as 2022 Unsung Hero.
Yeah, so my name's Eric Marez. Born and raised in Taos, New Mexico. My parents are Art and Katie Marez. Both have deceased. My dad just passed away about a month ago, but just born and raised. They've had businesses here in the community. So my dad had a shoe store, Shoe Via in Taos. It was right next to Taoseño, and so I grew up. That was my first official job, I guess you could say, just helping people with their shoes. I have a long history at Taos of, again, just my family has deep roots. My mom was originally a Valerio, and my dad, Marez, obviously, from Cañon and from Angel Fire area. And yeah, that's a little bit about some of my history. And I now have 4 kids of my own. married to my beautiful wife for 9.5 years now. We've been together almost 16 years, Danielle Marez, and our youngest is 16, and our youngest is 7, and our oldest is 16. So that's just a little bit about us. I also, I work at a behavioral health company. I'm the chief clinical director at Taos Behavioral Health, and then I also coach a girls basketball team. So that's kind of a little bit of what I do as a professional in the community. But we're affiliated with Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. Our faith is definitely a big part of who we are. We also have roots in Peñasco, from where my wife is from. So, the Trampas Church, the Trampas community, and Peñasco community is also very close to our heart. So, again, just a brief little tidbit of who I am. I think a big piece for me, what I always like to leave when I go and interact with anybody, is a sense of faith, a sense of hope, a sense of kindness and humility and compassion towards others. And that's really what I want when I work with people and when I interact with anybody in the community. I want them to feel appreciated, respected, and cared for. And I've been blessed to have that privilege of meeting people in Taos that do that for me. And so that's, again, when I go out, I remember all the people that were really nice to me and helped guide me through my youth when I was a mess. And when I come here to, in a professional capacity, obviously I try to be as professional as possible, but I really want to just come with a good heart and good intentions and really no judgment, wanting to help people. And both my parents instilled that in me, and I'm thankful to both of them. They're both really servants and really helpful to people, so that's, again, a little bit about me. Yeah, just waiting. We have all the pressure when we go last, by the way. Okay, we have to stack up. No, I'm really blessed to be here today before you. Obviously nervous, all those things. I'm sure everybody else that was up here felt that way, and just really appreciative and humbled and honored to be up here. And first off, I want to thank God for even allowing me to be here today. Just me being present and alive. Gone through quite a journey, and I couldn't have done it without him. The next person I want to thank is my beautiful wife. She's been with me through a lot and has helped me grow in ways that I think only God puts a couple together to do. And like I said, we've been together almost 16 years now, going to be married 10 years in February. And we have 4 beautiful kids, and I want to thank them as well for putting up with me. My oldest daughter, she plays for me, so I feel bad for her, so I really thank her, and I love her a lot, and she knows that. But I thank my kids, too, for putting up with me and coming to all the games, almost like some of Camille's kids. They come with us to all the games. They're always trucking along, so you'll see our little kids, all in Taos Tiger gear, decked out, ready to rock, ready to roll. They get a little heated, my blonde one especially, okay? But I just want to thank my family and my kids, my wife, my kids, and then my extended family, my brother, my siblings, my aunts, uncles, everybody. They helped me in my journey. I do want to thank the committee, Taos Community Foundation, who I've known Lisa for many years, and many of the staff I've known for many years, and I just thank them for putting on this wonderful event. And again, I feel humbled being recognized with these other amazing people. Just a blessing. And our community, obviously, there's been outpouring of just support and kindness and wonderful words, and so thank you all to the community. I think one thing, I guess, I was debating what to say, and I'm sure like the other candidates, they probably wrote their script 20 times, right? And you're heartfelt, and I was just really thinking that a part of what I want to share with you guys today is the relationship piece that I think is so valuable from all of our candidates. You see not only what they did, but the relationships they build while they're doing what they're doing is just absolutely amazing, and that's where really that light shines. And you don't have to be perfect, I think God has blessed me. When I was younger, I had a lot of death, a lot of grief and loss that I had to work through. Alcoholism, drug abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse. I lived in a shelter for some of my life, and I became very angry when I was a youth. I didn't know how to forgive others around me. I didn't know how to forgive myself, probably the most. And I really started to question, am I going to be worth anything? And that's a really scary place to be in. And I think some of the people that you guys impacted, through the medical field, through through what Camille does, through some of you guys that give grants and, True Kids One, what you guys do, some of these kids that they took pictures of, I've never seen them get in front of a camera ever, and I could never see them doing that. But when you feel hopeless, that's one of the most scariest places to be. You feel so worthless. And to come from there, God has worked in me, and the love and the relationships that He's put in my life, like my wife and her family and my in-laws, they've been amazing. My father-in-law got me into coaching up in Penasco. He was the girls' basketball coach, and the first time he met me and my eldest daughter, she was a year old, and she had just learned to walk, and she walked in the gym, and right away, that was Pompo. And so it's Clarence and Sandra Vigil, and I can't tell you how much love they've taught me how to love again, how not to be afraid to open up your heart again. And that's what my wife does for me every day. Yeah, she lets me have it because I commit to so many things. But she's shown me how to love again, and that's a really nice place to be, when you could open yourself up and feel safe enough to love again. And that's what a lot of these people in Unsung Heroes do, is they open up different opportunities for people to feel safe again and feel loved and feel appreciated. And that goes miles in people's lives. You save their lives by making them feel loved and appreciated. And many people in my life have done the same thing. I wouldn't have graduated high school without Mary Spears, who was one of my mamas. I can tell you this, I didn't show up to any other class, but I showed up to cooking class, right? And I did a lot of things, obviously, that cooking class appealed to me a lot more. But anyways, I know how to cook really good, by the way. But those are people, again, that it's not them doing their jobs, it's them, the relationship that they were willing to open up with me. And I think the connections and the relationship that Taos affords is just unique in itself. Our Taos community and the relationships people are willing to have, you can't find that anywhere else. You can't find that love and appreciation anywhere else. Whether it's through our cultural events that people just touch each other and they're helping each other dig the ditches, they're helping each other do their dances, their traditional dances, they're helping each other with whatever they need. It's just amazing to see that. Our kids at the high school are seeing that, and you could tell their hearts are good, because when the fire drill hits and we're all trucking out, they're carrying all the babies out from Camille's daycare. These kids our kids and our youth are good people. They are good kids. When they get to meet people like we have in this room that have love for them and let them feel safe, you're going to see an amazing future for Taos County. And I love working with kids because people did that for me. People did that for me. Now, I can tell you this, love is really important. Having faith is really important. My relationship with God and being grounded in God every single morning and every single part of the day is really important for me. It helps me know that I'm not alone. And I can't put that pressure on any relationship. That's my relationship with God. Loving my family, sports, and serving others. I remember my grandmother. My dad convinced her, of course. She made a basketball court for us out behind her house. We would stay out till about 3 a.m. playing basketball. And I love basketball just because that's what pulled me out of not only my faith, but my love, my family. But basketball also helped me because that reminded me of my grandmother's house, and where I learned to just have community, have plática with people, have conversation with people, and just be with people. And my dad, he passed away 4 months ago, and I don't have either one of my parents anymore. I lost my mom to breast cancer in 2005, And those are times when God worked so much in me when I lost my mom that I turned to love and forgiveness and kindness and care for others rather than turning to hate. But I remember my dad hanging up, of course, Taos style, right? He goes up on a ladder, right, that doesn't have legs. He leans it on a pole that we got that was recycled, that was a telephone pole, and the ladder's wobbling. My brother that's 2 years older than me and me on the other side trying to hold it so Dad doesn't fall, hangs a spotlight up for us, and we would always play. All the kids in the community would play. And that love that he had just for us, my mom, the love that she had for us, I hope to just have that with people that I meet. You know, I just want to share what I've experienced through the relationships, through the experience, you know, the challenges that I've gone through. And one thing I want to leave you guys with, and I was reading this in scripture, and I heard this through some sermons that I was hearing. Everybody that you encounter, think about it this way, that they may be an angel in your life sent to you, or you might be their angel sent to them. So take it that serious, and when you encounter somebody, to just open up your heart, and also, you know, set boundaries, but open up your heart, because you could have an everlasting change on somebody that you encounter. You never know when it's going to be saving their life. And again, I want to just thank you guys, and tell my family I love them, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Taos community.
Didn't Lisa do a great job tonight? Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. Well, I do want to say, I don't know if the videos for UNM Taos, Enrico Trujillo did an amazing job. So I just want to, he's not here tonight, but thank you, Enrico. I hope you're watching tonight. Thank you. And now we're coming to the very end. John Miller, our editor, is going to introduce our Citizen of the Year.
Okay, thank you all again for being here. Thank you for sticking with us to the end here. And congratulations again to all of our unsung heroes. It's always a pleasure to sit here and be able to hear your stories in person. Maybe not all of you know what a huge team effort this is, putting this event on every year. We've been doing it for 22 years. So I'd like to thank everybody on our staff, from our front office to our design department, circulation, our ad department, our publisher, Chris Baker, and our newsroom, and all our partners in the community. For the reporters and myself, it's always kind of a different thing that we do, telling these stories. It really gives us a chance to sit with someone, hear what they have to say, and really put ourselves in their shoes. Good storytelling really requires empathy and being able to relate to someone. And I think that this year's Citizen of the Year really does that well, and I think it's why she's been so successful in her career. I didn't know Dr. Lillian Torres very well before I sat down and interviewed her in August. But her career in education for 44 years, of all the things she accomplished, what impressed me the most was the fact that her story really matches the story of many of the students she served at Taos Municipal Schools for 8 years. Like some of the district students, she grew up with her grandparents. She has a difficult story, but she persevered, just as she did as superintendent for our district. During her time, she was able to stabilize the district's finances, encouraged many teachers to become national board certified, and was able to introduce a range of new programs that addressed everything from teen pregnancy, homelessness, and providing fresh produce to students. I have no doubt, especially after the challenges the district has faced in the last few months, and from talking to Dr. Torres and Valerie Trujillo, her successor, that that job is one of the most difficult in the county. So it was truly an honor to tell her story, and it's an honor also to introduce this year's Citizen of the Year, Dr. Lillian Torres.
My name is Dr. Lillian Torres. I am the superintendent of Taos Schools, and I work with all of our 340 staff members. To be a superintendent is the most incredible position in the world because you can make the most difference in a school district. For us, it's about 2,000 children. For instance, at Taos Schools, we work diligently to grow our students and provide them with the best education possible. One of the important people in my life is when I was in high school. I was in ROTC, I was the drill sergeant when I was a senior, and I had Sergeant Gonzalez who wanted me to do what I wanted to do in life, and I wanted to be a teacher. So he said, it doesn't matter if you don't have money for college, we'll get you in. It doesn't matter if you don't have money for the ACT test. And he handed me a check for $25. You need to go with your dreams. You need to take everything and move forward, and that's what I did. And it was because of him, I believe, that I probably wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for him. The one thing that I would say to a person that is going to be working with our students is, I would say, have integrity, live by your word, be honest. It's okay. Just remember that we are all the same. We are all people, and people do understand if you're transparent and you explain situations. People really will be there for you to support you, and together in partnerships is how you make a difference. There's no way to do it on your own, and it's really important to collaborate as a team, collaborate with the people that are close to you to make the biggest difference that you can make. Yes, after 44 years in New Mexico education, working diligently for the children of New Mexico, I have decided to take a break and retire on August the 31st, and that will be in about 3.5 weeks. I've been grieving for about 6 months. I feel like people are grieving with me, which really helps. But yeah, I'm gonna miss the children, I'm gonna miss the teachers, the directors, the board, and I hope that I have made a difference for our children, and I'm gonna miss it very much. For 44 years, I've been working really hard at providing for children, and that has really fulfilled my life. In leadership team meetings, it's just really difficult to talk about, when I leave, we can do this, or these are recommendations, and it's just a reminder, you're almost gone from here, you can, and so that's been really difficult to do. I I'm having to retire for family reasons. Having my sister who is ill with stage 4 cancer. My family needs me now, and I feel that it's time that I have to give back to my family because they have been so supportive and so understanding that this job takes everything that you have if you really want to make a difference. And they have been so supportive, including my 2 wonderful children, Bobby Cordova and of course my baby Ashley Cruz, who I'm so proud of both of them very, very much. And now I will spend more time with my 4 grandchildren.
I would like to thank Taos News, Chris Baker, and the staff that we've worked with over the last 8 years. Thank you, Lisa O'Brien, who we work closely with the Taos Community Foundation, who has helped us so much. And thank you to the selection committee who nominated me for this great honor. I'm humbled and honored to be among these incredible 8 other individuals this evening. I want to say thank you to my 2 children, Ashley and Bobby, for their support and patience when I couldn't get there for 3 weeks because I didn't have 5 hours to drive to Albuquerque, and that happened pretty much all the 8 years. So now I'll make it up to them. And I want to say thank you to Taos Pueblo, whom I respect and love very much. For their prayers, and also this beautiful shawl that they had made for me, and I love it very much. I want to dedicate this to my sister Susie, who is going through a severe health issue, and she's hanging in there. She's the most positive person I know in the world. So I really believe that things are going to go well. It's been a privilege to be your superintendent for over 8 years, but remember, we can't do it ourselves. I just have to thank so many people. I can't believe that we've worked with 30 nonprofit organizations just here in Taos, and I thought, wow, we're doing so great, until I found out there was 3,000. And I said, okay, we've got a ways to go. But we've worked so hard, and my goal and focus the whole 8 years has been our children, our Taos children. That has been the way that I was able to make decisions for our district. What was best for the children? And of which I have been called the mother of Taos children, which actually I'm proud of because we've worked diligently to provide every child opportunities, and that is ALL, all children, because all children deserve to have a good quality of life, and they all can, if we all continue to do the good work that's happening right now at Taos schools. I was one of those children who could have gone this way or that way, if you know what I mean. As I was growing up, I had my challenges, and just like Eric, all the things that our children go through, that they need extra support, they need behavioral health. I needed all that when I was growing up. And I'm here to tell you that if there's a child in poverty with many, many, many challenges, they can still make it. And the reason I know that is because I'm standing here right now. And it is my high school teacher who helped me no matter what happened in my life. And I also wanted to say thank you so much I wanted to acknowledge the people who do the work day in and day out. Somebody has to teach the children. Somebody, and who does that? It's the teachers. The teachers are my heroes. Let's give a round of applause to every teacher. Today is World Teacher Day. Today, and it's almost finished, but the support of the staff, and especially our administrators, our directors, these people are some of the best in the nation. These people are incredible educators, and we're really fortunate to have them. And I think that Taos can really continue to move up as far as we want. And we also have an amazing school board who works so hard for this community. Each and every one of those school board members I really admire, because they work so hard to help the superintendent do the best they can for the children. Because I have been in education, New Mexico education, for 44 years. Remember, I started when I was 10 years old, so don't add it up, okay? Anyway, I decided for my retirement that I was going to give myself a gift, and I said, I want to go somewhere. And so I asked my retired professor friend if she would go with me. So I went to Scotland. I just got back 48 hours ago. But I saw this poem, and I adjusted it to Taos, and it was this wooden statue. And I want to read it now. Tomorrow is a wonderful vision you had today. It begins in contemplation and in courage. It meets the light of Taos, past and present, and it is somehow sharpened by it, joining with the vision of others to make a brand new way of seeing. And that's Andrew O'Hagan. And thank you, Andrew, for that. That meant a lot to me, and I was able to really take that in as far as the future of Taos and all the wonderful, wonderful things that are here to come today and in the future. I want to thank every community member, every single one of you out there and in this room has touched Taos schools. Some a little, some a lot, but all of you have been involved in one way or another. And I hope that we continue to build our children's futures and do what we can do to help Taos schools, keeping the move forward and going to the top, because our move is to the top, and every single hour that we put in does make a huge difference. As Eric said, you can change a child's life just by one time, just by talking to them one time. And that's what we need to do with every single one of our children, because they are precious and they are everything to us. And we really must continue the focus that all of you have inside this room and out. And let's continue and work hard to do the best we can for our children. Yesterday, somebody told me something, and I wanted to say, remember to leave room in your life for magic. And I thought, I wonder why they're telling me that. And I thought, you know what, I need to spread that. And I'm going to say that. Leave room in your life for magic, because magic can happen and will happen. And if we look at the passion of our lives and the things we want to do, there's so much in our lives, and we are all just people. We are all the same. And together, it's the relationships that make it. And for Taos schools, if not us, then who? I love you all. Thank you very much.
Let's give it up for Lillian one more time. Thank you. I know we want to end the night. We're almost done. I just want to say, is Michael Tache still here, our special sections editor? He's done a wonderful job with the section. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I want to thank our advertisers. Without our advertisers, we wouldn't have a section. Please support, I always say that, please support our street vendors tomorrow. And Mary Chavis, our office manager, business manager, classified. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mary. And just so you know, she has a route. She'll be delivering papers at 3 a.m. So thank you to everybody. We appreciate it. See you next year. Bye. you.